expert witness. You can't submit any more reports. So it's imperative that you have an attorney to help you right away so that all the important information gets into the file, you know, in a timely manner.
But wouldn't it make sense if someone, oftentimes if they do have an injury, to seek counsel sooner rather than later to help them through the process initially?
Mm-hmm. I don't think the statistics for denials on the initial application are nearly as high as what we see with Social Security disability. You know, that's a situation where you may want to start right away with an attorney. But yeah, with long-term disability, you know, you can generally start it on your own. If you have questions, certainly call. You know, we're happy to give a free consultation to anybody at any stage.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so
that's reassuring. What is the difference between Social Security disability and long-term disability?
Well, that really depends upon the language of the LTD policy. Social Security is very complex in its definition of disability, but essentially it means that you can't work full-time and can't be productive. LTD has, some of the policies have two different levels. One where you can't do the occupation you were doing, that will permit you to get disability benefits, and then a second tier after a year or two, generally 2 years, you have to be unable to do any job which actually exists in reasonable numbers. So there are differences in definitions depending upon the timing and whether it's a physical, a mental, or a combination. It gets pretty complex.
I imagine it does. I'm trying to not be confused right now. To be very honest with you, it's wonderful. I'm learning so much. Now, you just said something in regards to physical and mental. If you have a disability, a physical disability, and you end up having, you know, mental difficulties as well, do you have to file two separate claims, or how is that handled?
Oftentimes, the long-term disability policies have a limit for the amount of time they will pay for a mental disability. But generally, a person also has something physical going on, and so it may take an attorney's help to convince the insurance company that they should be paid beyond that mental limitation time frame for the physical problems as well.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Now, how can someone get a hold of you, Melissa?
We have an 800 number, 1-800-520-3633, and like I said, we're happy to give a free consultation at any time.
That's fantastic. And you have a website?
We do.
Yeah. A great website, as we discussed before.
Yeah, hankeylaw.com is there with all kinds of information.
We'll be right back with more of Ask the Lawyer.
Justice may be blind, but sometimes people need help to see their way through the legal system. The Charles Hankey Law Office is ready to help.
Our local experienced team cares about your long-term disability claim, whether it's from injury, illness, or another medical condition.
We understand that it isn't easy to claim the long-term benefits you're entitled to.
We also understand how to increase your chances of winning. Let us help you.
The Charles Hankey Law Office. If you need us, we're here for you.
Part of what makes Indiana a great place to live is that neighbors help neighbors and treat each other with dignity. At the Charles Hankey Law Office, we believe this.
We're Hoosiers living and working here just like you.
Our clients are not just case numbers.
They're people who need help, and that we care about helping with disability and injury needs.
You may not need us now, and hopefully you never will. But if you do, the Charles Hankey Law Office will be here for you.
Welcome back. We're in discussion regarding the dizzying number of factors for the lawyers at Hankey Law to consider when handling your long-term disability case. During the break, we were talking more about Social Security disability insurance, and you made a point that I really would like for you to stress, if you would, please.
Well, it's important that people understand that they don't have to have an LTD policy to apply for Social Security disability. Anyone who is disabled and cannot work can apply for and obtain benefits from the Social Security Administration. The LTD policies are generally through work or people who purchase them on their own, but disabled people are entitled to a stream of benefits if they can't work.
So people, if they have a long-term disability, they can apply for both?
Yes, they could.
Okay, okay. That's, and does one last longer than the other?
There are some offsets that occur. Social Security, if you're disabled, could pay you through retirement age, and and each long-term disability policy specifies the length of time it will pay. So it really varies according to that.
Okay. Now, a very important question to me is if someone's long-term disability insurance company wants them to use their attorneys to help with their SSD claim, what should they do?
Well, that's an important question because most of the time the representatives that are assigned to our clients are not attorneys. And really? Our clients find that out for the first time on their denial paper from the judge.
Oh my goodness.
And these representatives are employees of out-of-state companies, and these out-of-state companies have worked out deals with the insurance companies so that these folks show up and pursue the case for our clients, and they don't even many times speak with these people until the day of the hearing, and it's really difficult to get a good relationship with your representative if you don't get to interact with them. That cuts out the human element, the reading, the facial gestures, and it's just very difficult to have trust in somebody that you haven't even met until the day of the hearing. And then you get turned down, and then you find out that the person is not an attorney. And that's really a problem, because we found that a lot of our disability cases actually have to go to federal court to get justice. And then when the proper objections or the proper challenges to testimony and evidence are not made, it makes it very, very difficult to pick up on some of these points in federal court.
Of course, that's why actually it's very important for people to have an attorney, because you have their best interest at heart, and you're working with them, and like you said, you have a personal relationship with them. Right. So, so people really have no way of knowing if the person on the other end of the line has their best interest in mind.
And Patty, this is even more troubling, because if a person does go to court and does happen to win with these particular representatives, then these people become the collection agency for the insurance company. And instead of representing you, they're now calling your house and wanting to know when you're going to be mailing back your check to the insurance company for the overpaid benefits that you received. So
that just doesn't seem fair at all, does it?
No.
That does not seem fair at all. Let's get into the claims a little bit, in the sense that if your claim is denied, can you appeal it?
I do not recommend that an individual appeal their own claim.
They should hire counsel.
Yes, for the reasons I stated before about the evidence needed to persuade the insurance company. Yes, and the file becoming closed, it's important to get that in right away.
And how do you approach that as attorneys? How do you approach the appeal process within a claim for an individual?
We try to utilize the treating doctors, the best we can by providing forms for specific illnesses for the client to take to the doctor. Some of these insurance companies will not pay benefits until a person's been through like a functional capacity evaluation, and so it's very important to have the right types of documentation sent in to convince them.
What is the functional capacity evaluation? What is that?
This would be a test, kind of a test or evaluation where a person goes for maybe half of a day or most of a day, and it's usually done in at an occupational therapy setting, and the therapist will have them do work-like tasks, you know, carrying certain weights for certain amounts of time, testing their grip strength, and all these things. And you have to be careful with it because they'll take a person's ability to do a little bit of activity and extrapolate that to mean that they can do so much more.
Okay.
So it's important to use a facility that will not make these giant leaps of, you know, leap to the wrong conclusion.
Right, and then that is even more evidence to the fact that you should have an attorney representing you at that time to tell you of these types of things.
Right.
Because here a person's been injured, they're disabled, they have to go for a test, they're not going to know that they need to protect themselves in any way. They want to trust someone, don't they?
Right. And a lot of times if the insurance company sets these types of exams up for the person, I get files all the time where I see that the insurance company didn't send all the medical records to those individuals who are reviewing the file. And so, you know, the examiners are going into the evaluation without a complete picture of what's happening.
Fascinating and tremendous information, I'll tell you. Mr. Hankey, you've been so successful over the years at getting justice for your clients. What's your secret? I mean, what makes you more effective than all the other guys out there at Hankey Law?
Well, we're local. We share a common background. We speak a common language with our clients. It's easy for us to understand where our clients are coming from, the decisions they've made. We have experience. We've seen the same little dodges and the same little things thrown up into our client's face time after time. We're not going to be sidetracked. Our clients are people to us. They're not cases. And that's very, very important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you care. You really care, the compassion, the experience, and the justice, the care, and you have a team, which is incredible.
Yes, we have people who do nothing but these kinds of cases, who are used to all of these complicated things, gathering the evidence, putting it together, and expressing our clients' life stories in ways that get the point across and are compelling.
I'd like to thank both of you for joining us today. Obviously, the Hankey Law Firm is a very good team member to add should someone be in need. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for Ask the Lawyer. I'm Patty Grabeau. Join us next time.